So this measurement is taken during the video, so that is why I'm putting it first, so you can have it.
Good day once again. In this tutorial, I'll teach us how to take a men's measurement. That means this tutorial will cover everything you need to know about men's dress. So being it native, senators wear, kaftan, pants, trouser, I'm going to cover it here. So whenever you want to sew any kind of design, you can always refer to this measurement. So this measurement is a standard and detailed measurement that you must know of it. And I'll be using this mannequin as my specimen for the tutorial. And mind you, the same thing I'm doing here is still the same thing we are going to do when we meet a complete man, like normal human being. So everything normal human being has, this my mannequin is having it, and that is why I'm using it as a specimen. Now let's move forward. And mind you, I'll be sharing these measurements with us alongside with the video. So everything I've written here accordingly. That is how I'm going to measure, so you won't get confused. So let's start from the length. That is, we want to start from the top. We want to take the top measurement. So for the top, whenever you have to measure, you take your tape rule. So this little distance after the neck region. Don't bring it here. If you should bring it here, because our shoulder is not straight, it is slant, you'll be having shortage in your measurement. So the best way to put it is put it here, little distance after your neck region. Then you take your tape rule. While taking your tape rule, take caution of this. Don't take it like this. Don't take it sideways. No. Let the tape rule pass across the chest region like this. The chest area, let it pass across on it. Then you measure downward. Then you ask your client where you he wants the length to be. Some will tell you 30, 31. Some will tell you they want it to come down. And again, depending on the style you are sewing for. But for this tutorial sake, I'll be taking 32. So my length for this top is what? 32 inches. So after that, I'll be taking the bust or body measurements. This is the bust. Some will call it bust, some will call it body. But in this aspect, as I've said earlier, I'll be taking all measurements at once, so that you can have an idea about it. So this is the bust measurement. If you ask a customer if they want it fitted or baggy, because some customer will tell you they don't want it too fit, they don't want it too big, just moderate. So you take your tape around the person's measurement body right like this. Then make sure you can move the tape freely. And for this is fitted, like fitted. And if you want it baggy, you extend it to any place you want. So if I want it baggy, I can make it 40. But in this aspect, I don't want it to be too baggy and too fitted. So I'm making it 38. As you can see, there is a gap. 38. So my bust is 38. Some call it bust, some call it body. So after then, we have to measure our shoulder. That is shoulder measurement from shoulder 1 to shoulder 2. And mind you, some people will tell you back measurement. But as for me, I make use of the word shoulder. In tailoring, we have different type of terminologies. So for our shoulder measurements. So while taking your shoulder measurements, if you should observe this mannequin, you can see there is a line here, and there's also a line here. That line is the one joining your arm to your main body. That is your arm here to your main body. And when you have to take a measurement as well, make sure your tape rule is on that line. It's not exceeding it. So this is it from shoulder 1 to shoulder 2. Make sure the tape rule is passing across, behind the neck region. So this is it. Mine is 14. Mind you, this is not normal human being. This is a mannequin. So mine is 14. So from that 14 aspect, 14 points, hold that 14 down, then take your tape rule head again to that same 14. You can write your measurement down for 14. So from this, I'm measuring the sleeve length. If it is long sleeve, I'm having 23 as my long sleeve. So this is 23 long sleeve. And this is a mannequin. The arm is not straight. If you are measuring the normal human being, make sure the hand is straight like this. Not like this. This mannequin hand is a bit folding. So don't let it fold. Make sure your hand is straight. So for this aspect now, I'm having 23 as my sleeve length, long sleeve length, in case you are sewing long sleeve. 23. So in case you are sewing short sleeve again, take it here. Anywhere you want your short sleeve to be, but for standard, our short sleeve measurement is above the elbow. Is above the elbow. So above the elbow now, I'm having 10 inches. So you measure it. That is if you want to sew short sleeve, 10 inches. Then we have 3/4 sleeve as well. So your 3/4 sleeve also depends on where you want it to reach, but the standard is below the elbow measurement. Below. This is the elbow measurement. This is the elbow point rather. So below it, it's 17. So if you want it more down or up, it now depends on you. But for standard, this is 17. So that is 17 inches for our, that is all about the sleeve length. So after that, there's something we call round sleeve, but the official name is bicep. So whenever you hear me using the word bicep measurement or round sleeve, I'm still referring to the same thing. And bicep is what? Your muzzle part. This is the round of your arm is your what? Is your bicep measurement. So take your tape rule. This is my bicep measurement. take it like this, and make sure take your two hands, like 2 fingers. Make sure your 2 fingers can move freely. So in this aspect now, I'm having 13 as my bicep measurement or round sleeve measurement. And this one I'm doing here is for moderate dress. So if you want your dress to be baggy and you've taken baggy measurement for the body, that means you are extending this as well. But in this aspect now, because I want a moderate dress, not too fitted and not too baggy, so I'm using 13 as my round sleeve measurement or bicep measurement. 13. So after that, you'll be taking the neck measurement. In this aspect, some people don't take the neck measurement, but as for me, I take it because, as I've said earlier, everything about tailoring, we don't assume. We get the accurate measurement. So everything we need is still on the body. We are measuring. So our neck measurement, it is important because when you see some people wear their outfits, you'll see the underwear coming out because probably the neck is too wide or too small. So for you to avoid all those mistakes, it's advisable you take your neck measurement. So you take your taper like this, round the neck, not too tight and not too free, as you can see. So for this, the neck measurement, as you can see, I can easily move my taper. It's not too tight and it is not too free. So my neck measurement for this mannequin is 16 inches. So in case you want to sew cap, so that is all for the top measurement. So in case you want to sew cap, you have to measure the head circumference. So you take your taper. You are not doing it like this. No, let it come across, as you can see. So same thing applicable here now. My taper measurement, my taper is going around the head. Let it fit in well. So in this aspect, my mannequin head is what? Circumference is 22 inches. Sorry, 22.5 inches. So 22.5 or 22.5 is still the same thing. 22.5. So that's that about top. So for us to now measure the trouser measurement, that is the trouser, the down part. So for the down part, okay, before I move to the down part, I don't measure it, but let me measure it for tutorial's sake. When we were measuring the knock sleeve, there's something we call wrist. This is the wrist measurement, how tight you want it to be. So just bring your tape rule down here for the wrist. For tutorial's sake, how wide you want it to be. So for this, my wrist is 9 inches. My wrist is 9 inches. So now back to the trouser measurement. So if you have to measure your trouser, please let's pay attention to this. You can ask the person where they put their trouser, because some people are so funny, they don't put their trouser on normal waist, they take it above the waist. So ask them, where do you put your trouser? But for standard measurement for taking trouser, this is the waist region. This is my waist. You can see that there's line here. So this is my waist. Take your taper here, then bring it down. So where the person wants the length to reach. So for this place now, my length is 38. I want it to be exactly on the point of ankle level. So ask the person where they want their trouser length to reach. So mine is ankle level, which is 38. So don't remove it yet. So from this place, you take it again. You just hold it down there. So while measuring your 38, look at the nail points. Nail points. Measure it. That is from your waist to nail point. What is there? In this aspect now, I'm having 19.5 inches. You will understand why I'm taking this this nail point measurement, shoulder to nail points. So for this, I'm having 19.5 inches. So on my measurement book, I write half length. So half length is still the same thing as what my my waist to nail point. So 19.5 inches. Then after then, I'm to measure my thigh. Some people call it tight, some people call it slap. So I'm to measure my thigh measurement. So if you have to measure the thigh measurement, make sure the taper is going up. Don't just put it here. And why you're not putting it here is because this aspect is wider than this aspect. So if you should put your taper here and you take this measurement, if the person is to wear it, he's going to have issue with this space because you did not consider the wider part. So in your lap measurement, always consider the wider part of the person. So in this aspect, this is my wider part. You take it up like this. So how you want it to be free, either free or fitted. But in anything you do, also put your 2 fingers inside the taper and make sure it is free enough. Because this time measurement is very important while sewing trouser. Once you have issue with it, that's the end of the dress. Until you will do it again. So always stay conscious of this. So in this aspect, my thigh is 23.5 inches. So write it 23.5. It's still the same thing as 23.5. Then the next thing is my nail measurement. Nail measurement. Don't forget, we measure waist to nail. So that same point you measure earlier, you put it like this. The first one we did is the vertical measurement, but now this is the horizontal measurement. So your nail measurement, also put your 2 fingers inside. 2 fingers is inside. Then in this aspect now, I'm having 15.5. 15.5. Then I have my The next on my book is waist measurements. So you take your taper again around the waist region. That point you started measuring from when you were measuring the length of the trouser. That same point. So you take it to the waist region. So this is it. So don't let it to be too tight, and always confirm from the person if they've eaten or not. Because if you are taking your measurements while the person haven't eaten and you get 30, if that person eats, there are some people that after eating, their tummy gets bigger. So in that aspect, you might have issues, so confirm from them. And if eventually at the point of measuring they've not eaten, if your measurement is 30, you can just use your discretion and add maybe an inch to it, half inch or an inch maximum. So in this aspect now, my mannequin has eaten. So the waist is, I don't make it to be too tight and too free. So you can see it can move freely, but it's not coming down. So my waist is 33 inches. 33 inches. So from that waist, you want to measure our hip. Don't forget I said earlier that everything I'm doing here is for the standard measurement. So anything we want to sew, we can always derive it from it. So for this, don't release it. Just keep expanding your tape. Let it come down to your hip side, the bum bum aspect. So let it come down. Let it come down. As you can see, it's coming down. So my hip is what? 38. 38 inches. Then the last part is what? The ankle measurement. How wide you want the mouth of the trouser should look like, or the hem part. So take your tape down here. Some people will tell you they want pencil. Some people will tell you just moderate, not too big, not too tight. So in this aspect, this is just moderate that you can easily wear without even putting on nylon or zip. So in this aspect now, my measurement is 12 inches. So this is the end of this tutorial, and that is all you need to know about men measurements for now. Thank you.